Happy New Year and happy Thursday. This is Thursday Night Live discussion group where we're taking the deep dive into the Dream Series. I am your host, Reverend Kevin Ross. You know me as Rev Kev. I'm sitting here with my main man, 100 grand. Rev E is in the building.
How are you, Brother Rev?
How you doing, Brother Rev?
I'm feeling great.
And I know you're feeling great, and this because this is the greatest year that you've ever experienced on this earth, and that is a promise. In fact, I want you to, if you're already with us, just first of all, get in the chat room real quickly, and I want you to tag a few people, and let them know that Rev Kev and Rev E are here tonight to take a deep dive to support you with discovering, developing, and demonstrating the dreams in your heart. We mean serious business about this being a year of magnified manifestation in your life. I'm talking about miracles and manifestation this year like never before. So I want you to tag some folks, like and share this. Get your friends in this group, your folks from Unity of Sacramento, have them be with us. We want to make sure that you are getting the full impact, the double impact that this year promises. Revy, I've promised myself. I have promised myself that I'm getting double for last year's trouble. I mean, type that in the chat room right now. Type it in the chat room. Most of you didn't go through anything last year, but for those of you who had some stuff to come to your front door last year, I want you to type in the chat room, I'm getting double for last year's trouble. Come on, I'm getting double.
I'm getting double.
For last year's trouble. Type it in the chat room. Come on,
trouble.
type it in the chat room right now. Come on. I mean, this is the year. We're making a double impact. We're having miracles and manifestations this year like never before. Who's in the chat room with us right now? Can we see? I've got Rev.
Deborah Garcia is here.
Hey, Deb. Double for your trouble this year.
That's right.
Who else is in the chat room with us?
Anita Ross is in the chat room.
Anita Ross is in the chat room.
Hey.
Double for your trouble this year. Anita Ross. Who's swimming with us in this great ocean of devotion?
Mardell Marino's in the chat room.
Is in the chat room. Double for your trouble. Type it in the chat room tonight. We are serious. I need you to create some energy at home. You ought to be on fire, running around the house for what's about to happen in your life this year with your dreams. We're living in a space and a place of high declaration, high energy, and high commitment to what the presence has given us this year. And so I just want to start out right now by having you get some energy going in your house, in your heart, in your life for this night. Don't let it fizzle for one scintilla. I don't want your dreams fizzling out because you can't figure it out. I want you to know God has already figured it out. We're just going to point you in the right direction. That's
right.
it. We're just going to point you in the right direction this year. Would that be all right with you? I want everybody in here saying in that chat room, double for last year's trouble.
That's right.
Double. Are they in there?
They're in there.
Who else is in there? Tell us who is in there.
We still got, wait a minute, Garcia, Marino, Ross. Yes.
And keep it going. Keep growing this chat room tonight. You know, we have started something here that we believe is going to take off like hot. It's just going to just burst onto the scene in a very powerful way. Why? Because somehow, somewhere along the way, we got the memo from the pandemic, and I call it a double pandemic. We got the memo from the pandemic that we needed to somehow hold back from dreaming because we need to stay in survival mode. It's just raining, it's just pouring, and because of that, I just need to figure out how to survive. And so people have been living beneath their privilege.
I call it behind the bricks.
What does that mean?
Hiding behind the bricks.
Hiding
just putting
behind
up
the bricks.
barriers themselves. They don't realize they're putting up because of how they're feeling about what's going on, the circumstances, as if those circumstances have anything to do with your dream.
Listen, and so in this moment, you know how you get out from under? You've got to have you've got to have a dream that's bigger than your circumstance.
That's right.
How do we get out of this situation that we find something bigger, a vision larger, grander, more expansive than the present circumstance? And so I don't want us to get caught in the trap of living beneath the privilege and the possibility and the potential that your dream has in store for you. And so we're going to be dealing with that tonight. We're going to go over some of those steps, because I know some of you have questions from Sunday. We're going to get a chance to hear some of your questions. We're also going to bring you some powerful energy from bring you a blast from our past from Dream
Yes.
Fest.
Oh, I didn't want to give it away.
Come on.
It's so
we
good.
won't tell them who yet.
Okay, good.
Don't tell them who
Good.
yet. But we want to keep you fired up and focused and motivated and inspired, because right now, more than ever, beloveds, your dream is required. Your dream is required to pull us from this nightmare. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that some people are taking that deep spiral into depression because they see the clouds and they see the storms and they see the flood and the rain, and they're going downward in depression and feeling low and tapping into that the density that the outer environment is bringing about. But some people are inventing new umbrellas. Come on, type in the chat room, I am inventing new umbrellas. I am inventing new umbrellas. That it all depends upon how you choose to respond to what's going on around you. And so we want to keep your spirits fueled and fed in this moment so that your dream can take flight. It can spread its wings. It can be as big and as bright. But I need some folks being willing to be the innovators in this moment.
I bet you Carla's willing. She's on here.
Carla's in the building. Hey,
She's in the
Carla.
building.
Carla, come on, invent an umbrella.
That's
Something
right.
that we can all walk underneath. Look at God. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Your dream provides shelter for many.
Come on now.
Hallelujah. It provides coverage for many.
That's right.
It is so expansive that there's enough room for you and those that you love and care about, because you get to prosper. So I want you to be inventing the new umbrellas. I want you to be opening the new possibilities for others with your dreams. Yes?
Yes.
What are you saying, Rev?
Shar says hallelujah.
Hey, Shar. You heard that, didn't you, Shar?
I put that in her mouth.
You
But I felt her spirit.
You know what I'm talking about, Shar, right? And so we're in a conversation every Thursday night during this Dream Series, Thursday Night Live, Dream Series discussion group. We want you here at 7 o'clock. We want you tagging your friends, and we want you to be a part of this discussion so we can take the deep dive, reviewing what we talked about on Sunday, because you can't unpack it all on Sunday. But we recognize that there are at least 12 steps that you can take to discover, develop, deepen, and demonstrate the dreams in your heart. And we've been proving it over and over and over and over again.
Year after year.
Year after year. And I said earlier, I don't know if I've said it here, but let me say it now. You might not make it to step 3. I feel God so restless with last year's shenanigans. I don't think some of you are going to make it past step 3. It's going to happen by step 3. Come on, claim it. It's happening right now. Type it in the chat. It's happening right now. Some of you won't make it past step 3. But we're going to give you all 12 anyway, just in case you need a little more taxi room this year.
And we can start with the first 3 tonight.
We're going to cover steps 1, 2, and 3 of the Dream Series. And we want you, as we're coming along, Rev, he's going to be watching the chat room. We want you to pause and ask questions. If you have a question about something, you have a real life scenario about something, if you're finding yourself stuck, we want to coach into that. We want to speak into that and get nuanced about the dreams that you have in your heart.
I love this. This is going to be great.
I'm intentional about this. Remember, that's what we said this year? We're moving with high intentionality, not reactionality, but what? Intentionality. We're linking our intent with the divine intent, and we said that the divine intent is for you to have, and you want to type this in the chat room just for review, for you to have your highest good and your greatest joy. Your highest good and your greatest joy. Highest good always means that there is no good thing left out. And I said before that your highest good and greatest joy may not necessarily link up with your preference.
Ooh.
Or what's so seemingly pleasurable. There's some pleasurable things that's not for our highest good and greatest joy.
Now that's the truth.
See's candy. Toffettes. God help me. Somebody help me with the See's candy toffee. Let me tell this story, and then I'm going to get us into these first 3 steps. I hope you're liking and sharing and getting this out, tag somebody. Be unselfish tonight. Just tag somebody. They don't even have to know. You just get them in this wave that we're unleashing right here. Get them into this conversation about their greater possibilities and potential tonight. Like and share this with folks that you know and love, and folks that you have a connection with. Maybe these are going to be the folks that you're going to mastermind with. But let me just talk about this thing as I confess. Your daughter.
That's a great way to start a confession.
I'm starting a confession.
It was you.
Your daughter sold me something that I found to be pleasurable, but I was supposed to be purchasing See's candy for a dear friend of mine in Chicago for Christmas, as a Christmas gift. And it's the toffee, is it toffettes? Or the little toffee.
I didn't get a chance to read the label.
Well, it's the toffettes. I know it's toffee, and it's got the chocolate and the nuts on all that little bit. Well, I went to the post office to deliver it, but it had been sitting in my car for a few days, wafting, just filling my car up with the scent of these toffettes. And I went and, inspected the can to make certain that it was closed. Because how else was my car just wafting with this chocolate? The can was closed, but somehow it's wafting through. And so I got sucked in. So I just said, well, he won't notice if I relieve him of one of these. One. And then it turned into one can of these that I relieved him of. So I had to call my friend in Chicago. And tell him, I ate your Christmas gift.
Confectionery confession.
Confectionery confession. I'm paying for it right now, right? So I say all of that to say there's a distinction between the things that are necessarily pleasurable to us, right? And the things that are for our highest good and greatest joy. That probably wasn't for my highest good. I know it wasn't for my highest good. It was pleasurable. I'm paying for it right now, but because I got to buy him another one.
Right.
And I probably got to, do some crunches and cleanse and everything else for eating a whole can. All right, so going into this process, we want to move in with maturity, some spiritual maturity around taking these steps. So we begin with step 1. Step 1, we said, is desire. Desire.
All right.
Now, not to confuse anybody, desire is, again, it could harmonize with what's pleasurable to you. That'll be wonderful. But we're prioritizing it in what way, Rebbe? Tell us, what way are we prioritizing desire over the externalized temptations of life. What's the difference?
So when we talk about desire, we're talking about that which is of your greatest heartfelt desire. We're talking about that which aligns with the divine, that which is literally of the Father.
Yes. Desire, the Latin de, meaning of, and then sire, meaning the source of life. So the desire is of the Father, of the source of life. It is literally, as we said here, spirit in you tapping at the door of your soul, seeking to express a dream through you. It is the spirit in you that wishing to express more for you, in you, through you, as you. Okay? So when you're having a desire, it's not based on what you seem to lack in your life. Desire is always based upon something that's trying to be birthed in your life. Something that's trying to come forth in your life. Something that the Spirit has need of. And it will stretch you. You'll know that it's a desire. You'll know that it's a true desire from Spirit because it's going to stretch you past your present paradigm. Type in the chat room, I'm ready to be stretched. I'm ready to be stretched.
So let me get this straight, Rev. We're not talking about the appetites when we're talking about desires.
Correct. And that's a great point to land on. Not necessarily the appetites. Not necessarily the appetites. When we're talking about desire, we're not necessarily speaking to that which appeals to the sensorium. Okay? We're talking about that which appeals to, as you pointed out, the heart, the soul, the true essence of who you are. That's trying to come out of you. It's trying to be released from within you. Now, you might get inspired. You might get turned on. You might get thrilled by certain things in the outer. But the person you have to become is what the dream is all about. Who you have to become in order to experience have certain experiences in the outer. Okay?
Okay.
All right? So we're talking about that fire in your soul. Anybody got a fire in your soul that you're ready to be stretched into? You got a fire in your soul. Talk to me in the chat room. I've got a fire in my soul. And just kind of speak your desire out. If you've got one that you want to speak to and you want to question around this step, let's look at it. Let's look at it a little bit.
Carla says it's what talks to her when she's in her still place.
Yes. And I think that's very important. Have you turned on the mechanism through your spiritual practice? Have you turned on the mechanism through your spiritual practice where you can distinguish between the voice of your sense of lack and the voice of Spirit saying, oh, I got something for you, Carla. Oh, I've got an unprecedented future for you, Carla. I've got a joy for you, Carla, that you have no ideas. I've got this over here. Please come. Desire is always wooing you. It's wooing you. It's calling you toward it. And it can be a big one. It can be but all of them are significant. Every single desire is significant. But do you have the mechanism in place? That mechanism that allows you to hear the Spirit, speak to your soul. What is the Spirit saying to you? What are you being called to? I was talking to somebody recently, and I could tell. You know how you're around people that like to be around you, and after a while you start realizing they're around you because they want to be doing what you're doing, something similar to what you're doing. After a while, when people hang out with you, after a while, so someone recently said to me, Rev, I want to be a minister. I think I'm being called into ministry. And if that is happening, then that is the presence of God calling you, desiring this through your life, wanting to take you to a place you've never been before through the route of ministry. It could be that same way through any other discipline, through the arts, through the sciences, through etc. But type in the chat room, I am ready to be stretched.
Elizabeth Edwards is ready to be stretched.
All right. Hi, Elizabeth.
She's online with us.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Stretch past the limitations. So here's the deal, folks. If you move with us through these 12 steps, you ought to end this year. You ready for this? With some stretch marks. You ought to have stretch marks by the end of this year. I'm talking about, look at what I've been through. Look at how I've grown. Look at how I've expanded this year. Come on now. Something needs to be, there should be physical evidence that you became grander, larger. You've grown past where you started. Which means, beloveds, I need you to have a consciousness and a container to hold more this year. Expand your mind this year to hold at least double than what you're accustomed to. Double the success, double the networking possibilities and the resources, double the connections. I want you to expand your consciousness and container to hold more. That's what I'm telling you this process will do for your life. I was talking to somebody the other day. I'll call her Mary.
All right.
And Mary had decreed that she was going to open up for herself multiple streams of income in 2022. Anybody else open to the idea of having multiple streams of income? If you're bold enough to type it in the chat room, I want you to type in the chat room, I'm open to multiple streams of income.
Someone type that in the chat room for me, please. I got my hands full.
Open to multiple streams. And so this was a part of her declaration in her letter to God. Okay? Multiple streams of income. And that's what came to her. And she started the year off with a new position and then recently was offered a second position. And you know what she said to me on the phone?
What'd she say?
She said, look at God, Rev Kev. Look at God. And listen, we're only at January, what is this?
The 20th.
We're only at January 20th. We haven't even pulled out of the driveway yet. And so she's already manifesting multiple streams of income in an unexpected way. And the reason why I'm saying this to you, I'm challenging you to put new language in your mouth, new language in your mind, new possibilities in your consciousness so that you can stretch the container that will be present in your soul to hold what's coming with this dream journey. I'm really excited tonight because we didn't get an opportunity to share with you all some powerful footage from an experience that we had on this campus. You know, we were so devoted to this process a couple years ago that we created what's called Dream Fest. We brought in some of our friends from all over the country to come in and break down some clear guidelines and techniques and steps to support you with manifesting the dreams in your heart. Folks who are actually doing it. We weren't talking about looky-loos and perpetrators, and I'm talking about folks who are at the level and beyond where many people I know wish to be. And so we were fortunate to have on this campus one of my dear friends who is, in fact, he started his year off in a huge way on the Today Show.
What?
That's how he started the year, being featured on Motivational Mondays on the Today Show. He is with his new book, Shift into a Higher Gear. Mm-hmm. He stood right here on this stage, and he's a renowned motivational speaker and corporate coach and author, and just he's the bomb.com. He's really a huge agent for transformation in this country, and he's known all over the world. His name is Dr. Delatoro McNeil II, and we're going to share with you a little bit, just a little taste of what he laid down for us at Dreamfest 2020. Just check in with this. Listen to Dr. Dell.
Human beings are just like wheelbarrows. We only go as far as we're pushed. Thank you. Here's my question. Who's pushing you? Outside of thyself. That's a great answer. But outside of you, who's pushing you? One of the greatest orators in human history needed to be pushed. And this ain't a Black history message, but watch me. Dr. Martin Luther King is giving his amazing scripted speech. Come on, somebody. And he needed to be pushed because he was giving his speech, and in the last 4 minutes of the speech, guess what? His confidant, his friend, Mahalia Jackson, who had just sung to him the night before, heard him give a different presentation a month and a half ago in Detroit. Sitting off to the side, watching her colleague, her son, her boo, give his deal, right? Not boo, but y'all get what I'm saying. And she's seeing the crowd, and guess what? They're moved, but they're not transformed. So she yells out, Marty, tell him about the dream. Mid-speech, Marty, tell him about the dream. And he departs, y'all, from his scripted presentation and goes into the I Have a Dream speech that changed the course of human history. So don't tell me you're the only one pushing you. All of us need somebody to see more in us than we see in ourselves. And I hope I can be that for you. I want to be that person that pushes the heck out of you.
Wow.
Is that powerful?
Yes, it was.
Come on.
Come on, man.
Come on, hearts and thumbs up in the chat room for Delatoro. And that's why we're here tonight. We are here to push you. We're here to be that one who says, tell them about the dream.
That's it. That's it.
Tell them about the dream. That dream in your heart. Yeah?
And that's why I love that we have this forum, we have this discussion group, because what we're doing is we're pushing each other. Mm-hmm. We're pushing you to take the steps. You're pushing someone to get on the line with you and to walk these steps with you. We're going to push each other until we all get to that promised land.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me give you an acronym for push, okay? Type this in the chat room. Type this right now in the chat room. P-U-S-H. P-U-S-H. Persist until shift happens.
Yes.
Type it in the chat room. P-U-S-H. Persist until shift happens. And we are those individuals right now. Thursday Night Live, Dream Series Discussion Group, 7 o'clock p.m. This is where we are to support you in that push. Mm-hmm. You know, I was talking to Anita today, you know, and Anita is a phenomenon in and of herself. You know, everything she does to balance home, community, work, business, I mean, self-care, mm-hmm. You name it. You know, there is still more within her. And one of our mutual mentors, Marianne Williamson, you know, is telling Anita, you ought to run for Congress. You ought to run for Congress. You ought to run for Congress. Now, Anita has not made that as a decision for herself. Mm-hmm. But this is the power, and I'm not telling you, honey, that you ought to do that. That's not what I'm saying. But there is something powerful about having folks in your life who are holding a higher vision or a larger stage, who can see a greater possibility for you and who challenge you to push past until shift happens. And the shift that I'm talking about is the paradigm shift from seeing yourself as a one-dimensional being.
I love it. Look at us. We're stretching and we're pushing.
Yeah.
Pushing and then stretching. This is what it's all about.
Yeah. We're pushing past one-dimensionality. One-dimensionality. I do one thing. There's only one way. There's only one how. No. What if someone is looking at your life like they're looking into one of those glass snowballs? What do you call those things?
I call them glass snowballs.
I can't take them nowhere, y'all. I just cannot take them nowhere. But they're looking into your life and they're seeing your blind side. They're seeing what you don't see about yourself. They're saying, wait a minute, she's playing for the gifts that she has, for the talents that she has, for the resources that she has, for the support that she has. Wow, she could be doing this for the nation. Are you with me?
What's really interesting is that those who can hold that shift, that can hold that for you, they often they're coming from a space of seeing it happen themselves to other people. So they're telling us that they know you've got the right stuff.
Yeah. There's evidence. There's evidence.
Yes.
There's evidence that they've collected from witnessing that same spark in others. You're absolutely right. I'm adjusting my posture. I feel my daughter Angelina saying, sit up, Papa, sit up. Straighten your spine. Okay, let's take step 2 together. So we know that we're talking about our desires. Step 1, recognizing that this step is us really making welcome in our hearts this higher call for our lives and moving intentionally toward that. Not necessarily knowing what the road is ahead for us, but really giving ourselves permission to feel and to connect deeply. And I like what Carla said, to be able to hear that voice when it calls, that impulse, or however it comes to you, this desire to expand and express more in your life. So the step 2 is decision. Decision. There is nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. Make up your mind right here and right now. Make up your mind right here and right now that this year is going to make last year look like it didn't even happen. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. That's the kind of life you have the power to decide upon. This year will make last year look like it never happened. Decide to be at that energetic octave. Be at that energetic station in your life where you have closed the door on that old wishy-washy way of being. Oh my God. Stop juring out every decision you make for your life. The only person who can make a decision for you is you.
Rev, what makes a decision a decision? What is a decision?
It is the cutting away decision. Of cutting. So it is the cutting away of everything that is not the main thing.
Why is that so important, Rev?
Because focus expands possibility. Focus expands potential. When I am indecisive, I don't have the power. I don't have the power necessary to carve out the future that has been placed in my heart. So I'm all over here and I'm all over there, and my energy is dispersed such that I've got just a little bit left. Just a little bit left to really do the real work. Because I've diluted my energies by not being, as the scripture says, single-minded. When thy eye is single, your whole body shall be full of light, the scripture says. Keep thine eye single, and your whole body will be full of light. Light, power, inspiration. You'll be tapped into the source. But we have to make a decision. What did we say decision meant? It says your dream needs your full commitment to take the journey toward its fulfillment. Say yes to your dream and trust the process that will unfold for its fulfillment.
So is this being definite with the infinite?
Absolutely. And why don't we type that in the chat room as an affirmation, the first person. I am definite with the infinite. I am definite with the infinite. You know, you're essentially saying to yourself and the presence that is within you, I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm going to stop playing with this thing. I'm going to stop procrastinating. I'm going to stop. This is my thing with folks. I'm going to stop getting ready to get ready. How many times have you done that? You're getting ready to get ready. I'm getting ready to write the book. I'm getting ready to start the seminar. I'm getting ready to open the business. I'm getting ready. And you just keep getting ready and get. But you never get to the point, we never get to the point of absolutely putting a stake in the ground and being, you ready for this? Being willing to start badly. That's what trips most people up. I don't know enough right now. So I'm going to try to get as much as I can get, to learn as much as I can learn. And this learning thing has been going on for 999 years, right? That I don't want to start badly. So what happens? You don't start at all. And not making a decision is deciding to abandon the desire that the presence has placed in your heart. It's not making the decision is aborting the dream that's been placed in your soul. That's what it is. So we want to make a decision to move with it and be willing to start badly.
You know, this thing is really beginning to sound like we're birthing something. We're pushing, we're stretching, we're not aborting. I mean, I'm beginning to hear key words that really speaks to the birthing of something great.
Let's ask out there, anybody working through making a major decision? Just do some hands or thumbs up. Give us some indication in the chat room that maybe you're working through making a major decision. Anybody? Just anybody? Any decisions that you're working through? Any questions about any decisions that you're working through? Because this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to really put it out there. I need you to be uncomfortable a little bit. If you're not uncomfortable, if you're not a little uncomfortable right now, you don't have a God-sized dream. And maybe that's the thing. You know, God's dream for your life is going to always be outside of your budget. It's going to always be outside of the budget of your time, the budget of your money, the budget of your energy. It's always bigger than where you are because it's going to require you to become the one who can hold this new space. But it's yours. And that's the mystery. So anybody working through a decision, having a challenging moment, making a decision, folks a second. Reb E is checking in the chat room.
Yes, haven't seen anything yet.
All right. I want you to be confessional with yourself about that. I want you to be confessional with yourself about that.
We have someone.
Okay.
Carla is deciding to remove old stuff and redecorate her house, and it is scary.
You know, Carla, I hear that. And in order to go to the next level, we do have to unload some of the baggage or some of the, I don't want to use the word baggage because that may give you a negative connotation about the things that you've accumulated over time that are treasured mementos and contains the energy of the life that you've lived thus far, right? So it could be, things that happen inside of a relationship, and this represents this, and you have a lot of that coming along. The problem is the next level. The room is not suited for that. In fact, it's already furnished. Hallelujah. It's already furnished. It already comes with everything required. And so the letting go of the past, because that's really what we're doing. We're letting go to the psychological, energetic, and emotional attachment that we have to things that brought us to this point. Imagine jumping out of a parachute, right? But bringing your kitchen table with you, not parachute, jumping out of a plane, trying to take a big leap, and you're bringing your kitchen table and the kitchen sink and your bicycle and everything else with you, when they've already given you the equipment that you need to soar. They give you everything that you need to do the soaring. So what I'm inviting us to do, for those that may have some holdback and some attachment to previous forms, I want you to trust that those things that brought you to this point have served their purpose. And one of the things you can do is you bless it and give it a new home. Support someone else with having it, knowing that it's got a new home, it's got a new place and a new space, right? Be with that. Take inventory, beloveds, on what may be in the way of you making an important decision in your life. What is that is in the way of you making that decision? I appreciate that comment, Carla. We have any more comments?
Not yet.
Okay. All right, fantastic. So before we take that next step, I want you to take a listen to Delatoro McNeil II, Dr. Delatoro. He's got a little more inspiration for us, and then we'll take that third step together.
And when we come back, we'll have more.
Okay.
They're coming in.
Put your comments and questions in the chat room. Dr. Dell is going to come up and give us a little bit more, and then we'll come back and take some more Q&A. Appreciating the comments.
I'm going to give you some free advice for every dreamer in the room. If you're a dreamer in the room, say, oh, yeah. Write this down, tweet it, Instagram it, I don't care what. Watch this. If you quit, buy some popcorn and watch those that didn't. Drop the mic. Good God have mercy. I'll wait. You missed it. If you quit, buy some popcorn. Because all you're going to do is sit on the couch and watch those that didn't. That'll change your whole life right there. So either you buying popcorn and you sitting on the couch and you watching those live their dream, or you stick to that thing until you become the one that people watch. Can I clap it up on that? Come on, somebody. Y'all with me? Say, oh, yeah. 10 years ago, this young man took over this incredible ministry. 10 years ago. Come on, somebody. And our lives have been transformed because of his remarkable leadership. Are y'all with me? It didn't happen overnight, but we're here, y'all, because he sat on the egg until that hush puppy hatched up in here. Put your hands together for Rev Kev. Come on, y'all. Yes, I said hush puppy. That's my word. Don't judge me. I'm a motivational speaker and I said hush puppy. Don't judge me. My self-esteem is dependent on you not laughing at my vocabulary sometimes. I'm not as eloquent as Bishop over here, but Sylvia told me not to compete with nobody. Are you feeling me? Say, oh, yeah. Your words have power. Principle number 3, say my words. Thank you. Say it with enthusiasm. Say my words have power. For the rest of your life, you're never allowed to say I'm nervous anymore. Dreamer, you're no longer allowed to say I'm nervous. It's the number one thing I hear every time people talk about public speaking presentations, go, I'm nervous, I'm nervous. You can't say I'm nervous no more. Because the truth is, you're not nervous. You have an H-A-O-I-O. You have an H-A-O-I-O. You have an H-A-O-I-O. You have a H-A-O-I-O. Hey, you have a H-A-O-I-O. Ho, you have a H-A-O-I-O. Hey, you got a... Oh, sorry, I had a moment. You have an H, write this down. You have an H-A-O-I-O. You have a healthy anticipation of an incredible outcome. Woo! Come on, somebody. I get it. The nerves are there. I get it. Your throat is dry. I get it. Your heart is pounding. But stop calling that nervous. Call that a healthy anticipation of an incredible outcome. I have a healthy anticipation. I'm excited. I'm pumped because I'm about to create change. I'm about to create transformation. People's lives aren't going to be the same again when I get done with whatever it is I'm about to do. I have a healthy anticipation of an incredible outcome. Never make what you feel who you are unless it's something good. You missed it. Come on, somebody. What's your name, sweetie? Brenda. Come on up here, Brenda. If I was meeting you for the first time and I say, hi, my name is Del Toro, what's your name? I'm Brenda. You're Brenda. She didn't say I'm depressed because she didn't make her calamity her identity. I'll wait. Come on, somebody. Never make your I am a negative emotion. If you're going to make your I am something, I am gratitude. I am love. I am joy. I am love and light. Come on, somebody. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am the head and not the tail. Come on, somebody. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Good God have mercy. Is this all right? Here's another free one that's going to help you with what y'all call getting nervous. Stop speaking and start serving. Del, what do you mean by that? I'm so glad you asked. Last time you volunteered at a soup kitchen, were you nervous? No. Last time they had church cleanup day on a Saturday and you had to show up in sneakers and jeans and a jumpsuit and just kind of volunteer your time to clean up around the church, around the mosque, around the synagogue, around the campus. Were you nervous? No. When you fed homeless people under the bridge, were you nervous? No, because you were there to serve. You weren't there to speak. Stop speaking and start serving, and you will change the world with your message, with your story. Does that make sense? You can clap it up on that. That's good stuff, y'all. Come on, somebody.
Are we back? Oh, my goodness. Del Toro is in the building. Now, if you got anything out of that, you learned that you've got an H-A-O-I-O, a healthy anticipation of an incredible outcome. That's what we're calling you to this year. A healthy anticipation of an incredible outcome. That's what we are saying by being open to stretch. That's what we're saying by sitting on the edge of your soul this year and being willing to dive deeper and to make a bold decision. It may make your knees knock, but he talked to us about getting beyond that. And Carol, was it Carol? Carol,
yes, it was Carol.
Carol in the chat room, is at that point of decision. She's trying to make a decision. I'm ready to retire.
Yes.
I'm ready to retire, but I don't know what I'm going to do to replace my job. I want to invite you to answer it with service. Answer it with service. Isn't that what Del Toro said? We're shifting now. So you're coming out of one way of having served. But if your heart is open to being of service, and that is what is tugging you right now, trust that God is going to provide a new form, a new avenue. You're not retiring. It's not retirement, it's refirement. You're getting refired to give your gifts away meaningfully in the world. Now, you might give those gifts away intermittently, right? Not 9 to 5, not 40 hours a week. You might give it between your trip to Maldives. Come on now. Because you've earned that trip to Maldives or to the Bahamas or to spend more time with your family and friends. But as you're making the decision, take the fear out of the conversation and make yourself available. Make yourself available to the presence. That was one way the presence had use of your life. I'm now ready for the next way that the presence will have use of my life. Dr. King says everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You only need a heart full of love and a soul generated by grace. So we want that heart to be open and available. Open and available. And I think there's so many opportunities right now to be of service.
Right into their families and spend the time that they couldn't with their grandchildren and just bring joy.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful use of time.
How am I a contribution to my family and those around me and those in my immediate life and circle? So I think that's important. But I want you to recognize that right here in the United States, 4 million people in the course of this pandemic, 4 million people and growing have walked away from jobs, have walked away from positions. There are more people hiring right now than ever before, more jobs hiring right now than ever before because of what they're calling the Great Resignation. Because we learned that we can live in this country with a greater sense of fulfillment, right? We discovered in that brief period where we were sheltering in place that I want to do something that's more meaningful, that's not just exhausting to me physically, but that energizes my life. I promise you the dream that is coming to you, that desire that comes to you is coming to you. That's one of the ways you can tell it's from the presence. It comes and it energizes you. The thought of it doesn't drain you. The thought energizes you. So don't think retirement, think refirement. How am I going to be refired, reframed, refocused for the presence? But I think it's a wonderful question. Be in prayer about it, okay, Carol? Be in prayer. Be still with it. Sit with it. You're going to make a right decision. You're going to be guided rightly. And we'll be here to support you with that.
You know, one of our mentors, George Clemens, Father Clemens, would always say, find a need and fill it, find a hurt and heal it.
Yeah.
That was his formula.
Yes. And when you do, make sure it aligns with something that's coming straight from your heart. It's authentic. It's authentic. And I think that that's the work of this process. Okay, let's take step number 3 together. Step number 3 is ask. Step number 3 is ask. I want you coming out the gate this year, doubling your asking quotient. Doubling your asking quotient. We underhave because we under-ask. We underhave because we under-ask. What have you held yourself back from in asking? Some of us have been right in the room where it happens. Have you ever been in the room where it happens? It's all there. Everything that you've ever wanted, it's right there. And choked.
Couldn't get the ask out.
Could not get, he has a way with words, doesn't he? Y'all pray for my brother here. Pray for him. Hold him in prayer. Yeah, could not get the request out. So I want you to automatically double in your consciousness your asking quotient. What is it to ask? To ask is to invite or to place a demand upon the infinite supply for guidance, divine ideas, resources, and the qualities of consciousness to attract your dream to you. The qualities of consciousness. I'm going to ask for the guidance. So be willing to say, I don't know. Be willing. You want to double what you learned this year? Be willing to be in the unknown. I don't know what I don't know, and I know that I don't know. I need help. I want the information. Will you coach me? Will you teach me? Will you mentor me? I'm signing up for this class, this seminar, this retreat. I am open to learning what I don't know. That's a way of asking, inviting the information to come forth, inviting the guidance to come forth, inviting the mentoring to come forth, asking for it in a deliberate way. Look back over last year and see the ways that you stopped yourself. See the ways that you stopped yourself from taking a big, bold step forward. Usually the ego interferes. Who knows what I'm talking about? Remember, the ego is just fear. E-G-O, edging God out. E-G-O, edging God out. It's a way in which that smaller self pops in and tries to reduce the size of your container. No, you don't want to be embarrassed. What if they say no? You might get rejected. Turn every no into next. This year, we're turning every no into next. Why? And I want you to get this distinction. I really seriously want you to get this distinction. You are never asking the channel. So if you ask me for an opportunity, I said no, you're not really talking to me. You're talking through me. You're always speaking to the source. You're always talking to the source. You're never talking to the channel, always talking to the source. And you're always qualifying yourself vibrationally for whatever it is that you're inviting into your life. You gotta feel like, smell like, taste like, sound like the one who is the mental, spiritual, emotional equivalent of the thing that you have. You got to feel it in your bones. And that is asking. Your vibration is an invitation. Type it in the chat room, please. My vibration is an invitation. My vibration is an invitation. Oh, I was talking to somebody last night. I'm not going to name names. Almost ready to stand up on this one. Because I want us to watch the pitfalls that comes along with it. What happens is you get an invitation like you're getting right now. You're getting an opportunity to be called into a higher place where your highest good and greatest joy is possible, where the dreams that are in your heart are possible. And then something will creep up to just make sure you really mean that you want to stay up here. You want to stay at this rarefied atmosphere working on your dreams. Something from the past, usually some blood relative pops up with some drama and trauma from your mom. I mean, some of that kind of stuff. And this individual was telling me about that she was experiencing, some of that kind of interference coming into her life and felt like she needed to address it immediately. I said, no, you don't. No, you don't. Please, this year, if you want to truly experience the things that you have a desire for in your life, keep your vibration from low stations. Keep your vibrations from low stations. I'm not going there. Type that in the chat room. I'm not going there. I'm not going back there. I'm not having any conversation with this person. I'm not taking myself to those old places and spaces that eat up all of my energetic capital so that I'm at such a low frequency that all I attract to me is other people's problems to solve. Are you hearing me? That's not where you want to be. I'm staying in the upper room. I'm staying in the upper room. I'm staying right here. Last night, I'm talking about me now. Last night, 3 a.m. in the morning, Spirit gives me a divine idea. Get up and write this down. And when I tell you the Spirit gave me something so wonderful, completely, in total, Anita was like, what is he doing up? I'm up writing the idea word for word. Spirit gave it to me completely and totally in the form that I'm going to use it in its entirety. And I couldn't stop. It just came through in its entirety. Some of you are going to get movie scripts like that. You're going to get your whole movie script in one download. If you're not at a low station in consciousness where the rarefied energy that comes from the divine ideas is being blocked and clogged, okay? So I want you to know that your energy, your vibration is the invitation. Your vibration is the invitation. How do you feel? What are you talking about? How do you look? How are you carrying yourself? What's your countenance like? Talk to me today. And I want you to keep in the high place all year long. And that's why we're having these Thursday night live 7 p.m. Dream Series discussions to support you every step of the way. I want to take a quick break because we need to wrap up here. It's almost 8 o'clock, and we're going to end every week on time. I want you to write to me. If you have more questions that pop up throughout the journey, just send an email, kross@uniofsacramento.com, kross@uniofsacramento.com. Hey, Rev Kev, this is what's up. Hey, Rev Kev, just kind of let us know. Revy and I will go over it, and we'll come back next week ready to support you with taking even further ground, okay? Taking further ground forward. All right. I hope let me know if this is valuable to you right now. Just give us some feedback in the chat room. Let's look in the chat room and see if we're getting some hearts and thumbs up. If you're appreciating this, if you're loving this, if you want us to continue this, let me see your feedback. I want to really know, because there's some things that can happen on a Thursday that would look very different. But if this is a valuable service to you, I want you to let us know. Are we getting some feedback?
The hearts are coming.
Hey, okay.
Thumbs
I love
up.
it. I
Thumbs
love
up.
it. All right.
Wonderful.
And we've got so much more to share with you. Let's take a moment now to bless our gifts, our tithes. And I'm asking you today to tithe toward your dream. Tithe toward your dream. Target your dream with the seed. And I'm asking you to do multiples of 2. Maybe it's $222 seed for 2022. I'm going 2022 all the way. Somebody's going to do 2022. Somebody can do 22. I'm asking you to double in terms of how you're sowing into your seed, into your dream. Tithe toward your dream tonight, okay? And just fertilize the field. Fertilize the field of opportunity and possibility for yourself. As I mentioned earlier, some of you are not even going to get past step 3. Things are going to start manifesting instantly. Remember, give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Say, I'm standing in the overflow. Overflow. I'm claiming this for myself. I'm claiming it for my household. And I don't want you to be mad at me. I don't want you to be mad at me, because I will and I shall have my dreams. And I'm wanting that for you. And I'm inviting you to plant a seed right now toward what it is you want to experience and express in your dreams tonight. I like to use my cell phone to do mine because I have the Unity of Sacramento app on my cell phone. It makes it very easy, and I can give recurring gifts. So I'm going to make my gift here right now.
As will I.
And you can also use the Unity of Sacramento website, unityofsacramento.com. And I think we have even a link. Do we have a link in the chat room for?
We actually have a link that is on the post. So it's right there where you are watching.
You can use that link in the post where you're watching from on Facebook, and it'll take you right to our safe and secure PushPay portal. And it's the Thursday night live service. That's where you're going to make your contribution. I'm going to do it right now. Get mine up, my app. I'm inviting some of you to consider being a recurring giver. I'm going to make a gift right now in multiples of 2s. Hallelujah. It just feels right. All right, and I hope that you're doing the same thing along with us. Support us tonight. Oh, wait a minute. I've got to select. Where is that? Okay, got it. Okay. All right, I'm good. Let's take a moment now to bless. There we go. Let's take a moment now to bless. I just want to pray and affirm and know the truth for you as you make this gift tonight. Thank you, God, for the dream that's in the hearts of the people who are saying yes right now. I give thanks. I give thanks that the sacred yes is being acknowledged, and that this field right now, this field of love, this fertile field called Unity of Sacramento is now nurturing and nourishing the seeds that are going forth this evening. And the universe is responding in expected and unexpected ways. I'm talking about manifesting miracles tonight, dear God. And so as we operate in faith tonight, believing, knowing, and trusting that according to what we believe is what we will receive, I'm asking you to enlarge, expand, bless, surprise our beloveds who are saying yes to their faithful contribution tonight. In expected and unexpected ways, manifesting miracles starts right here and right now. Thank you, God. I know that you hear us because you hear us always as we pray in the name and through the power of the living, loving Christ. And so it is. Amen and amen. Beloveds, please continue to give. Please continue to share. Please continue to encourage us to keep doing this because we've got much more that we want to offer you. We've got much more. And of course, be back with us on Sunday. Come right back here Sunday morning. You know that our sanctuary right now is presently closed for the public, but we'll be here live streaming. And we're going to take steps 4, 5, and 6 in the Dream series. We're going to continue this process. And we're going to continue to know the truth with you and for you, that you are manifesting miracles. Even before we get to step 12, see that for yourself. Be open to it. Let your hearts be filled with what God is guiding you toward, okay? I'm going to be up nights, walking the floor, praying, and seeing your dreams come true. What about it, Rev?
Absolutely, right here as well.
We're with you. We're with you. Remember to push until next week.
Birth that dream.
Birth it. It's on its way. We love you, and we'll see you Sunday. Peace and blessings. Share this video with somebody. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for being with us tonight. That was really good. And let me see who's in that chat room still. Let me say goodbye to some chat folks here. All right. Thank you, Deb. I see you. Carla, thank you. Jonathan, thanks for being with